Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Neil Pickup, the fat lad, here with you in the mother fluffing house. And once again, we are in the presence of greatness. Now, I'm going to say that it's been a very entertaining Sunday afternoon because we have just banished the demons. We spoke about something. No holy water, no rosary beads were required. Engin and Travis just threw down a little bit on something here. It's still not resolved, but we think we threw a little bit of a light where there was no light. So, while we had these guys on, we thought, you know, that was it was pretty hardcore. We wanted to keep it friendly. We wanted to keep this thing in the positive mentality that we've become known for. So we wanted to move subjects, and this is what we're going to talk about. Devon Larratt has recently started his own project, and it's a pretty bloody exciting one. Devon, tell us what you're doing, mate.
Yeah. But first, you know, it's interesting about the whole thing that we just talked about, because I actually, from watching the movie, I did believe that was the way it happened. So I've been biased as well.
If you don't know what Devon's talking about, I'm going to put the link in the description. We just did a show where we were arguing about the Zloty Tour 2004. Most of it's and giggles on my part because I've slept since then. But I'm telling you now that Engin and Travis were pretty embroiled in a sort of head-to-head, which will probably rage on for some time on social media. So we needed the voice of reason on here. We brought Mike and Devon on. And as Devon said, actually, you recalled the same way, didn't you, Mike?
Yeah, but it's possible that Pulling John has skewed my memory. I don't know. But that's how I remembered it.
You know, I think after Rambet said, after you remember, if Ron did it, I can do it, what John said. And now Rambet's just, even like 5 minutes ago, said, you know, whatever. Even the angels come from the sky and says, you know, it's how it is, you know, how I said, you know, still, you know, it's not going to prove anything to anyone who don't want to see the truth, you know. So let's continue.
So Armbet, to me, it's probably going to be the biggest contribution that I think that I'm going to make to the sport. I'm really optimistic about it. I have a very long-term approach on it. You know, having been in love with arm wrestling for a very long time, I feel like I know what can benefit the members and the participants of this group. So I'm kind of trying to build the entire structure just to make the sport even more accessible, make it easier for people to plug in, and make the overall experience of arm wrestling even more fun. And I'm not catering the app to elite arm wrestlers or the best in the world, although they will benefit immensely from the process. It's mostly tailored to bringing in tons of people. I want the numbers on this app in a couple years to be in the millions. I want to change the sport so that it becomes more of just a lifestyle thing. Like, so when you open your app, it just so happens that your server is on Armbet, or your gas attendant is on Armbet, or the person who's coming to do the plumbing in your house is on Armbet. And you guys can just, arm wrestling can just be part of a very normal thing that you do, and you can establish your ranking, your win-loss, and people can just participate on a far greater level than they do today. The problem is with, like, we've been using social media, we've been piggybacking on Instagram, on Facebook, we have chat groups, but the thing is we need a universal plug-in, and it needs to go beyond league affiliation or anything like that. So I have to be very sure in the creation of this thing that I remain very inclusive and that I never show bias to any group, and make it overall purely beneficial to its members so that we can accomplish what we're setting out to do.
And how long did this thing take to develop, Devon?
Well, like everybody in this room, we're all crazy about arm wrestling. So we've all got our ideas on.
Travis is calling me.
The debate rages on.
I think Travis is gone, actually. Hey, I love Travis too. But we all have our distinct ways that we want to enhance the community. Even Travis, as much as he jokes around about wanting to be rich, I know that Travis loves arm wrestling too.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that there was a few things that I've seen, just growing up in the sport that I was like, this is really important. This is really important. And sometimes those things got left behind. I think that there have been key things that have been really important in our sport. So I think one of the things was the Northeast message board. It was a big thing. It was a big thing, a place for everybody to talk. Okay. The ability, do you remember when Armwrestlers Near You came up? Do you remember that?
Yes.
It didn't last long. It wasn't around for long, but this was an idea that we needed. We needed a place for people to go to find people, not just in the sea of Facebook, not just in the sea of it. You knew that no matter what, you could find people on this website wherever you're going. So this was an important idea to me. Rankings. Rankings was a very important thing, and not just rankings where that it took a lot of work. Like Engin used to do the rankings. It's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of knowledge. Mm-hmm. And that's not the type of rankings I'm talking about. The type of rankings I'm talking about is what WAL did, what arm wrestling rankings down in Australia did, where it's just math. It's not complicated. It's just straight math. And I know that this is important as well. And there's a lot of things we've learned through our phones about what turns people on, what makes people excited, what makes people engaged. So yeah, I'm just trying to we are trying to take all these ideas, because it's not just me anymore. I've been sharing this idea with people probably for the last 5 years actively. I've been pitching every single person that I thought could make a difference for probably the last 5 years. I'm going to say probably about 3 years ago, 2017, 18, I met a business guy out of Toronto, a guy I do business with, in other things as well. And he's like, Devon, he's like, we can do this. I'm like, amazing. Okay. So the two of us and a guy out of the States, Zach, we started to make it. It fell apart. After about eight or 9 months of trying to build it, it crumbled. Personal issues, disputes. It just fell apart. We had a lack of direction. Emmanuel and I stayed at it. Okay. So we hired a group out of Toronto, a group of programmers. We built it. But the thing is the vision wasn't right. So the way that they were building it, I knew it wasn't going to work. It fell apart. We hired programmers from all over the world, different parts of the world, to try and put it together. It never came together. In a last ditch effort of desperation, probably maybe about a year ago or 10 months ago, I put out a general call. I used my YouTube. We had a ton of responses. We found this kid out of Paris. We whittled down the list and we're like, this is our kid. This is our dude. And, talking to this guy way too much. Poor kid has lost a lot of sleep because of me, but, he understood the vision. He was able to see the entire picture from start to finish where we eventually want to get to, and he started to build it. Since that, probably about 10 days ago or so, we launched the MVP, minimum viable product, what we like to call it. And we have many steps before we are at our final stage. But since then, we've gotten so much attention, not just from the arm wrestling community, but from people who want to help. So we had 180 replies from programmers who wanted to help. So right now we're in the process of building and putting together a team of developers to take this project from where it is now all the way so that the arm wrestling experience is going to be completely transformed. And I think that the whole thing is probably going to take 2 to 3 years to see it to what I call 4 alpha. When we get to 4 alpha, then we have officially made it. And arm wrestling as we know it at this point will be completely transcended.
And one question I have on this, Dev. Obviously, and it may be that this is too early, mate. You spoke about the evolution and the opportunity to make this thing grow and to get it to where you want, and I appreciate that's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
How can people in the arm wrestling community help you get this thing cracking? What would you request or what would you require? Do you need a database of clubs, of associations, of places, or is this thing more about just people going out into the community and meeting, look, I'll meet you in 20 minutes at this bridge and we'll pull it on the side of the bridge? Or is it both?
Yeah.
What do you want them to do, mate? What's the call to arms?
Yeah. So, first of all, we're all impatient, okay? Nobody's more impatient than I am. I want this thing to be here right now today. But the truth is when it comes to talking to machines, there's bugs, there's programs, there's fixes that you have to do, and there's scalability. When the app has 10,000 people on it, it functions completely differently when there's 50, 100. So we're constantly working on this thing and fixing it already. Since the release, we're already constantly working on it. Right now, what you see on the app is just a community-based experience. So when you get on the app right now, you see people. You see tons of people. It's so amazing even to me. Like, I live in a small town, okay? My population in this town is like 4,000 people. And I think I know everybody. And when I open my app, I see people in my town that I had no idea arm wrestled. And we've brought them into the club, and now we're all the rate of growth already in arm wrestling clubs has been impacted by the ability to connect to existing members. So this is already a positive, but this is what you see right now in the app. And there's different search filters. You can search for your demographic. If you're looking for a certain type of person, even with the limited fields that we have right now, we're already doing okay. But these fields are going to increase, and our ability to search is going to continue to grow. But right now, you're looking at proximity. Okay, so right now the app is centered around who is close to you. Yeah. It's around 200 to 500, somewhere in that range of max capacity, ability to communicate. You can search. So right now, you can type in my name and you can see exactly where I am. Like, for example, I'm going over to Gatineau in a few hours, and I'll have my app on precise mode. So there's settings. You can be invisible, you can be ghost, you can show your home location, or you can be precise. And each one of these has a use, especially like for guys like Engin, Mike, Neil. For promotion, I normally am on either ghost or home, and home can be as minimum as your country, because I don't want people to know my address all the time, so I leave it at Canada, Ontario.
And the benefit to this thing must be, Dev, because you mentioned two things there, obviously for the promotion or for people, particularly the guys we've got on this call. Mchael Todd, for those who don't know, professional personal trainer, who happens to be one of the most exceptional arm wrestlers in the world. But for somebody who's in that environment, this would obviously provide a potentially massive tool in order to get people to Mike. And it works both ways. For the athlete to come and get advice from one of the best to ever do it, and for Mike to fuel his business opportunity and what he does. Similarly, Engin, who's an absolute font of arm wrestling knowledge, and this would give him potentially an opportunity to get that out to people far and wide, to arrange seminars. How far is the tool going to go in that environment in terms of them being able to organise, a training seminar?
It's going to go very far. Okay, so right now, this is our opening slide, okay? It's going to focus on the community. And like I said, this already needs cleanup. But our next slide over is what we call our events tab. Okay? And the guys at Armbet are probably going to freak out at me because I'm going to get ahead of where we are. So I don't want to give too much, but basically, you're going to have the next page over, which is going to tell you where everything is. Okay? And we're talking everything from events, practices, even freedom table locations. Okay. And that's the one that's so exciting to me. You're going to be able to see, like, so say you and me are in the same town and we're like, hey, where can we get together? Boom, there's a freedom table two blocks away from
just for the people who don't know, Devon, just tell people what you mean by freedom table, because they may mean it's an actual thing. I don't think that's
freedom table can be anything. Anything where you're like walking around your town, you're in a park, and you see a bench, and you're like, you know, like sometimes you're like, that is the perfect arm wrestling table. You're in a bar, and you're like, it's got the perfect thing to arm wrestle on. So as a member, you'll be able to take a picture of it, ping it on the mat. You'll earn rewards for just that process. People can verify the table and say, yes, this is a good table. I've arm wrestled there. You can review it. You can get points for reviewing stuff. You can put your club on the mat. You can earn points by reviewing clubs. So basically you're going to have a slide that shows clubs, freedom tables, events, practices. And the thing is these things are going to notify people. So for example, if you're doing an event, say a seminar, whatever, you can put it on the map and boom, it's going to notify everybody by public message within a radius that you can choose. You want to attract people from 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, whatever. If you want to do a worldwide event, you can notify everybody on the app. It's just, the thing is I am willing to die for arm wrestling. I think everybody knows that. It's going to be kind of my last stand because I believe in what this sport gives people. I believe in sports. I think it makes us all better. But unfortunately, money has to come in at some point. And it's not just for me to survive because I'm actually fine. It's to create walls of security in the app because I can't have Chris Gobby going on the app and just fucking it up. You know what I mean? So some things will cost money, but the hope is, and we will not do that until it's actually viable, until we actually know that by spending the money, you are actually going to get more in return for using the feature. So, yeah, so that's the second slide. There's a third slide. There's a fourth slide. And I won't get into those yet. Just know that I love arm wrestling and I love the arm wrestling experience. And I have a vision to get us all the way so that if you are an arm wrestler, it will be to your great benefit to be on this app.
Now, Mike and Engin, I've done a lot of talking.
I want to ask Devon. So I see this as a promotion. You know, you promote in arm wrestling. You are just also connecting arm wrestlers from all over the world with each other. Yeah, it is very good. But other than that, that's not the final goal, right? Is that the all? Because the name of the app is like Armbet. You know, it sounds like, you know, it is just gonna carry to the future for something different. Am I wrong about it?
Potentially. So as you guys know, I'm a big fan of betting. A lot of people have issues with betting. I think it's an essential part of sport to have betting as any feature in sporting activity. Our end goal is, yes, to include betting at the end of it. However, I am absolutely not tied to it, and it's not the part that I live and die on. The part that I'm totally focused on is the building, the growing, the community. I do think that betting is part of that end state. We will do fantasy betting before we ever touch real betting. So by that is you'll be able to get on there and you'll be able to play, and that's half the fun for me anyways. Like, when I bet with people, like, geez, you made $1,000 today on Travis. That's pretty good. But
no, you can take that money. You can take that money. It's against my belief, but you can take it.
It's $1 million and a girl.
I'm happy to take Travis's money. Yeah.
Do that. Yeah. So you are saying that the betting will be the part of it, but it is not a must for the application.
No, absolutely not. It's completely not. It's not at all a must. When we get there, I see that as the very end piece, and it's not what makes the app special. What makes the app special is its ability to connect people in proximity. That's what's going to make the thing really good. Like when you show up, you can just be like, there's an arm wrestler here, and you can just roll. You can just roll and pull and get your ranking that way. Get your arm wrestling experience independent of any organization. You can show up and you can use it at a tournament. You can plug in at the tournament and work on everything right there, but you can do it independent of all that as well.
The funny thing is, it's like a giant pyramid effect here, isn't it? Because you're in a situation where, from what you're saying, Devon, this thing could evolve to the point where the tool becomes as versatile as you need it to be or would like it to be, and in any particular area or environment.
I'm really optimistic about it, guys. Seriously, I spend more energy these days on the app than I do on training. I'm that excited. I think it's just, for me, I think it's where I need to spend a lot of my energy. I think that it's going to benefit a lot of people if we get it to where, I think it already has. That's the thing. I've already, so just me starting to play with this thing, my first run was, I did Montreal, Kingston, Toronto. Normally, when I go to these places, we're looking at, less than 20 people, maybe, Montreal, we had over 50. Kingston, we packed a whole garage. And it's because of we got all the regulars, and then there's all this periphery that's just being pulled in. Yeah. Tons
Mike, you got any questions, Michael?
No, man, I think it's awesome. I'm excited about what he's doing. I've got a couple of things where I want to try to go on the road and do a few different things. And I was just telling Rebecca today about how cool it'll be to just, I was originally going to do some stuff where I showed up at tournaments. The hell, I'm like, well, Armbets, I can just have practices every day. I can just show up somewhere different every day, and the amount of content that we could put out because of that would be amazing. So I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you can, so you'll be able, Mike, so you will be able to, once we get the second phase, okay, and we're probably a month and a half to 2 months away from phase 2, okay, but you'll be able to, on the map, plug, Michael Todd will be here, okay, and people will be able to comment on it, they'll be able to see it on the map, so, and when you get there, you're going to see all the people around you. You'll be able to notify all of them and pull them in. Yeah, and the crazy thing is because it's an arm wrestling app, it's not like social media, okay? When you go on your Instagram, when you go on your Facebook, okay, and you do a message, you're probably hitting, now a lot of people who follow you, they're probably arm wrestlers, okay? Mm-hmm. But I'm going to say you probably have 10% of the people or 20% of the people are arm wrestlers, and the rest are like fans or friends or family. But if you go on the ArmBet app, every single number on there is on there because they're crazy arm wrestling, either fans or practitioners. So the percentage is going to be, it's going to be close to 100 of people.
What a tremendous marketing tool this is for advertisers as well. Because if you've got a situation where a promotion, one of the things that I would do with Arm Wars is when you were going to sell that concept, I'd go in front of television companies, and the biggest battle I faced straight away was, okay, what is the potential market? What's the scale of that? What's the demographic of that? And where are they based? Well,
yeah, we're going to have all those numbers. So, I'll get my phone.
Mm-hmm. Devon, you can be also a manager, and you can have members in each country, representatives.
We're going to need a lot of help. We're going to need a lot of help.
Like for example, you can have like a seminar, just say in a neighboring country over here or over there or Australia or Asia, and then you can send there, trainers, you can manage this as from like a one center, you can do it, and then you can work with the percentage, with the, you understand? Like you can set a seminar for 10,000. Do you understand what I mean? Just example. Mm-hmm. And then you can, with a trainer, you can give him a share. And as a manager, you do your own share. You take your own share. You can work that way. Do you understand, right? You understand my point? Yeah.
If this thing gets really powerful, it may be possible to locate Danny Tesh so that people with sick children can go and have him heal the mother.
That's right. That's right. People are going to take a pilgrimage so see, if you get this thing started up.
There we go.
And right now, so I can see, that's me. I can see all the people around me. I don't know if you can see that.
That's coming up now. Cluster of people. Look at that.
Yeah. So that's everybody. So now I can go on any one of these people, okay? And I I can message him and I can be like, hey, come here this day. But this is just the beginning. Like, it's going to be international. It shows right now. So my admin shows me all the countries that it's in.
Mm.
USA is way ahead. They're way ahead. They've got over 2,000 active users already. We've had some issues with the app, with the emails not getting through. UK, you guys are, I think you're in third. I think you're in third place. The density in UK is probably quite high. Turkey, you guys got to come way up. I think that there's issues with the phones. There's some countries where there's privacy issues, where the phones don't, like, there's a lot of legal issues where they don't like you to share your data, like where you are. So they'll just stop the app. They won't let it go. So anyway.
Because with Turkey, my God, I mean, everybody loves arm wrestling in Turkey.
We need to explain people. We need to tell people, what exactly it is and why they need this, and then it can work. Is it possible that, we can also talk about, you guys willing to travel for pulling, like you guys said before the interview, this chat?
Yeah.
You asked me about Istanbul. Devon, you said that you
plan on for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be like traveling, arm wrestling all over the place. That's my goal. Promoting the community, bringing people together. Without question, I'm coming to Turkey.
Yeah. Just
I've got
come.
a left-hand super match with a very small man.
What's that? Talking about me?
Yeah. And
he said a left-hand super match with a very small man.
There was a tiny guy there, what's that 35 centimeter? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I don't even train my left anymore, but I'm still good enough.
What I saw with Larry was, okay, whatever.
Hey, Larry was awesome. Hey, and that's another, there's so many freaks out there now that are coming out, like.
Oh, some of the guys you had on that video. We were speaking on the phone the other day. Tell them about the guy that you were telling me about on the phone.
Yeah. Awa.
Have you seen that, Engin?
No.
Devon.
Yeah, so we were practicing in Dubai, and I'll tell you, like, I didn't know where Larry was going to be at. I was really impressed with Larry. I think Larry's a really smart athlete. I think he's got a ton of potential to anything he sets his mind to.
Very powerful guy, yeah.
Very powerful. He's just a little bit quicker. Yeah. He's got way more pop than I could even dream of having. Everybody knows I'm slow, but he's super fast. But there was a guy there who showed up, this guy called Awa. And so this is the story on Awa. So Awa is a mechanic in Dubai. And the way the story goes is there's an Indian arm wrestler who's getting his car fixed at this car shop. And he's talking about arm wrestling like arm wrestlers do. And the owner's like, oh yeah, we got a guy in the back who's really strong. So they bring out Awa. And of course, Awa just crushes him. So the Indian guy's like, wow, okay, this guy's really impressive. So he goes and gets his buddy who's actually like a legit bigger, national level in India arm wrestler. Brings him. Awa destroys him. Okay. So they bring him to some tournament. They're like, we got to bring this guy to a local event. I guess
Dubai is happening in Dubai.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the level in Dubai is not extraordinary, but still. So they bring this guy to the event, and I guess he dummies everybody. The first time he ever went to an arm wrestling practice was with me. Okay. He came, they brought him to meet me and to meet Larry. Right away, I shake this guy's hand, and I know. I'm like, I don't think I can top roll this guy. Definitely without a strap, there's no fucking way. He's got one of those hands. It's a bigger hand than mine, and it's more muscular. Okay? You've felt these people. Like, he's got like a Mark Felix kind of hand. Like, it's just big, strong, and all over. So we start asking him questions. We're like, do you arm wrestle? He's like, with my friends. and they're like, do you lift weights? He's like, no. He doesn't lift weights. He's got
How big is the guy?
Eh?
How big is the guy?
He's probably about 6'3", about 245. And he's just healthy. He doesn't look like he lifts weights, but he's got a 20-inch arm. Okay? And he's not fat. He's just a big man.
Big man.
Big man, genetically just well put together. Okay, so I'm his first match ever on like a practice table. So I touch him and I'm like, I don't want to be like all shoulder in. I don't want to do any of that stuff with this guy. So I'm like, okay, let's strap up. And I guard him tight, hard. Like, it's not easy for me, but I totally bled him out. Okay. So I completely bled out everything. We do it again. I bleed him out a second time. And I'm talking like through his arm, through his hand. And right away, the thing that impresses me is this guy can arm wrestle everywhere and he doesn't give up. Okay. So he can do everything from full press all the way to a King's move. All the pressures. He's just got it right out of the box.
Wow.
Then he pulls Larry. Larry's fresh. Larry beats him in a hard match. Then he pulls a guy called Mazahir, who is the national champ of the UAE. He's good. I pulled him. He's really good. He's a really solid, like around the level you'd think for a national champ from UAE. Awa. We set him up in a match. Don't move, ready, go. Awa. Boom! Shoulder coming right at him. Not scared to use his bones. Okay? Stops the match and just slowly eats up his hand. And it's like, damn, like he's on a different level in natural ability right out of the box. And there's guys like that. There's going to be so many guys like that.
It's going to be fascinating how many of these guys Arm Bets brings.
I want to go. I want to go to Central Africa. I feel like it's an untapped part of the world in arm wrestling, and I think that there's so many genetics, like big hands, big shoulders, good athletics. Like go to Cameroon. And he's like, all my brothers are bigger than me. All my friends are.
I'm not going to lie. I've seen a picture of a guy with a towel over his shoulder and a hat. As far as genetics go, I don't know.
We all go to Cameroon for different reasons, Neil.
Genetics were unusual. They really were.
Yeah.
But I've got to say we've just started this, and the sort of timing of this thing with COVID being as it is, and not being able to have practices inside, and obviously we're told to pursue things outdoors where possible. The timing of this thing it's unbelievable.
Perfect.
Because it's ridiculous. It's like it's scripted. For something like this to come along and to start to pollinate at that time, the opportunities there to practice much more safely is off the scale. Yeah. It's weird how things like that come together. It really is. But I think the potential is ridiculous.
I hope so. I think that we all play our part. Everybody here has built arm wrestling. I want to be in that group as well. I want to be able to say that at the end of my journey that I've left the place better than when I came.
You did more than anyone else about promotion, for sure.
Well, everybody, you're very kind, but I mean, we've all done, like, everybody in this room has made very positive impacts.
You made everything, so much popular, arm wrestling now. Even if people knows us more now, it's because of you, because people, this is right here, the people, here is the window, you, and here is us, and then through you, they are meeting us. This is how it is.
Wow. I think even more so going forward, potentially, just because of the social media presence that you've established now, Dev. You've got a situation where that, though, the fact that you are still I'm very personally extremely pleased that you are that guy for a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons there is because you are genuinely obsessed with pulling. And extremely approachable, and have the capability and sort of natural inclination to arm wrestle for friggin' hours with anyone. And that's always been in you, mate. That's not something that you've, just for anybody who doesn't know Devon personally, who's sort of thinking that that's a social media thing or a thing that has been developed to propagate a myth within social media. All of us can attest to that fact. It's not, he's been doing that for years, well before any social media involvement, for anything else. You've always been the guy who's on the practice table for friggin' 5 hours. Always. Yeah, so it's nice that you're the guy.
Well, we all know why the sport is great. And we have an opportunity now to bring it to more people. And I think that's happy times for all of us.
No, very exciting. Sure.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It really is.
Hey, real quick, I got to go here in just a minute. Any progress on Dubai?
Yeah. So what's going on in Dubai right now is, so I know that PAL is invested there as well. Okay. So they were planning on doing, PAL events in Dubai regardless. Okay. So they already have contacts. So I know that, and I haven't talked to them lately. I talked to them a few weeks ago, but we're on board, to potentially sit and meet, as early as the end of this month or October, if things work quickly. Savan Matosian is involved. So, and with the investors that we're currently talking to, we've been told that we have a 60% chance of it going forward in the set parameters which we've set out right now. So that's already really good. It has to do with a sports mall in Dubai. So right now, I mean, the base floor of this entire thing is, can we get funding? And so far, I would say it looks optimistic. There's a lot, like, as soon as this thing kind of got a little spark put on it, there's all sorts of people, flowing around the outside trying to get in. So sharks are circling. I think that this dream is an essential part of anything we're going to try and put together. Like, we all have our promotions, okay? We all have our pools, but I think that at a minimum, so arm wrestling in the Olympics, whatever, that's great. But truly finding out who the number one arm wrestler is, if this doesn't happen once every 4 years, we're making a mistake as a community. Okay? It's fine to be segregated, but if we don't come together at least once in some kind of a set period, there's a mistake happening. And I think a place like Dubai has the money to make that dream happen. I think that and that's what it comes down to. It's going to
why not Vegas, Steph? Is it just that the people you've spoken to in Dubai?
It just happened that I was in Dubai recently and I met some people that I thought could get it done.
Yeah.
I'm not
tied to a particular area at this stage. Anything that you're looking at there could happen anywhere where it's commercially or financially viable.
But the thing is we all know to make this kind of a thing happen, you're going to have to have the willing participation of the top athletes and by the top athletes, that just doesn't mean the person who's going to win. That means probably it's good for like the top 8 or 16 best people in the world. And I'm not entirely tied to the idea. Like, I don't want to make it just super heavyweights either. I want to make sure that there's women there. I want to make sure that dudes like Engin are there. Engin.
I just want to pull 11. That's all I care about. Just make it so I get to pull 11. That's all I care about.
Devon, next time, if we meet, I will topple you so badly that you won't call me again there.
Hey, Engin, you forget I have a cage move.
I am 200, right now, 210 pounds. Just a little bit lose weight, we will be in the same weight, Yeah.
That's all you're going to see, Engin.
No, not in the rules that we're going to pull. You will be above table. You will be
trying to make all sorts of rules.
You will be sitting
in the WAF?
Chair, You will be sitting. Sit down, we will do. Sit down.
Okay. You and me in Dubai.
Yes.
Anyway, it's alive. We're pushing. It's on the list of things that I think we all want to happen. So I think it's inevitable that somebody comes along that's able to unite the West and the East and have a central location where the whole world comes and it makes sense.
Yeah, it's good. That's good spirit. It's not professional spirit. It's amateur spirit who is trying to do something professional. That's good. That is love. That's good. That's what I want. I don't want people to just go to their own playground and then just say that, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I mean, if you are greatest, just step up. Just fucking step up.
Dude, I don't think there's anything wrong with having your own playground.
I just want to find out.
Yeah, Mchael Todd here, front of me, and witness, said that, Levon, I'm gonna come to your home, and my contract doesn't prevent me doing this.
He did say that. So he did say that on the show. I've come to your house.
Rocky Five. That wasn't actually in the ring. It was on the street. Yeah. They were fighting.
There you go.
Yeah. Come on. If contract stops you, just fight on the street. Yeah. Right now, I Makarov again. And then right now, people don't allow us here because all the official sports under government control and we are not allowed to do that. But when the time comes, I'm going to put it on the street. Bring two referees. I will pull him and I will pay the fine or not being the social distance thing, you understand? I will pay the fine. I will find sponsor. I tell sponsor to pay for Arthur. I will not get any single coin. I will just do for my honor. That satisfies me. You put in my pocket $10,000, it doesn't satisfy me. You understand? Okay, money is good.
We'll have enough money to pay the fine.
The missus just came in. I got to go.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
This is back.
Hey, Mchael, you get to Levon before I get to you.
Dude, calm down here.
That match won't mean anything after I get through with you.
Dude, you don't. You just said you're a promoter now. You're a programmer. You're not an arm wrestler anymore.
Engin, you see that, right? Neil, you see that?
Oh, it's a missed up. That's bloody serious. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at 42 minutes of this show. And we're going to have to wrap it up so that Mchael can go and not get beaten to death by his missus. If this is your first trip to the Supernatural Strength channel, please like, share, subscribe, mother fluffers. Let people know about it. This has been In the Presence of Greatness. I want to thank my guests, Engin, the Enigma of Rage, Terzi. I want to say a big thank you to Travis the Beast Bajan, who joined us for the last one and kept us all entertained, as always. I want to thank Monster, Mchael Todd, the WAL Super Heavyweight Hammer Holder, and I want to thank Devon No Limits Larratt, the world's most famous arm wrestler. Ladies and gents, it's crazy times out there. Make sure you keep yourself and your family safe. And until we see you next time here on In the Presence, take it easy, peeps.